You're listening to the Last Man In podcast. Covering Winnipeg hockey and the NHL.
Scheifele dances his way in. Scheifele scores! Mike Wheeler finds the far corner. And the Winnipeg Jets win it in overtime.
Last Man In episode 145. If you can't tell, I'm extremely tired today because anybody else watched that amazing hockey game last night that was fought until the first team scored a goal. 1-0 in overtime.
It was fantastic.
I hate to kill your momentum, but I didn't watch it.
Yeah, no, neither.
What?
No.
I don't. So, you know a game is boring?
Grass.
You know the game is boring when...
4 hours?
No, just for a certain point.
Are you okay, dude? Your yard could...
I never said whose grass I was cutting.
Oh, yeah. Dan. No, Dan just kept walking by the window and he's like, oh, still 0-0? Well, Gladys, hold on. Cut it over.
None of that.
So, Greg.
No, it was boring because the Ottawa Senators don't know how to play exciting hockey. But besides from that...
Hey, I'm starting to get behind. I kind of hope they pull it out. I'm starting to get behind them.
No!
You can't. No.
They were like watching red paint dry. They joined the likes of the Blues. Oh my God. What if the Blues made it? Like
against the Sens?
If
In
you
an
watch the
alternate
Sens play in
universe?
small doses, they're not that bad.
What do you doses like a shift at a time?
Like, I only watched the overtime of game one, and it was good.
Exactly, because they're only...
Because
you know the game was boring because the highlights themselves were boring.
They were playing for the overtime in a playoff game. What are you doing? Come on.
To be fair, 3 of the 4 teams left I find boring. The only team I don't find boring is Pittsburgh. I find the other teams boring.
I love watching Nashville play.
Yeah, me too.
Everybody's so caught up in them because they're new, but they're boring.
They're fun.
Is this Dan's pipe bomb right now? What are you
Maybe, I don't know.
with?
I'm not saying I'd be mad if they won. I'm saying they're boring. They play like Minnesota. They play like St. Louis.
Look, Dan's yawning. He's so tired.
I'm yawning.
They do have 30 goal scorers now, so they had 2 of them. That's never happened ever.
We also have the storyline. Well, I guess we'll get there eventually because we still have to wrap up last.
I shouldn't say they're boring. Maybe I just say I don't enjoy. Okay, I don't enjoy watching the Ducks.
It's the yellow.
No,
it's got to be the yellow.
I don't mind the yellow. The
You
helmets,
don't like certain colors.
The helmets
You're
are
a colorist.
Hideous.
He doesn't like the yellow color.
If I'm a colorist,
He doesn't like yellow or orange. That's why he hates the Flyers and hates the Ducks and hates the Preds. But he likes blue. Blue's fine.
He just said he likes.
No, I hate the
Pens
Ducks
though.
because Ryan Kessler plays for the Ducks and Corey Perry plays. For
But
the
we
Ducks.
have to talk about Ryan Kesler because there's a thing there.
I'm
Yeah,
just saying.
Ryan
Okay,
Johnson.
I'll stop being negative.
Yeah, be positive, Daniel.
It's a negative job. It's
Tuesday,
mine and
guys.
Greg's job. Come on.
You're supposed to bring
It's Tuesday. I'm
You're supposed to
happy.
be positive.
A ray of
exactly.
sunshine in a
Yeah, there's a new
non-
Prison Break tonight. Are you not excited for that?
Didn't
'Cause
that
I
show
am.
end like 10 years ago?
No, it's back on and it's great.
Prison Break. The locks weren't locked. It's season 3.
What? No.
What season are we on for
So
Prison
did
Break?
Five.
So did
It took 5 seasons to break out of
No,
one
there was multiple
post-
things that
So
happened.
spoiler alert, did they get out of the prison like 10 years ago?
You
and
know
then
what?
they
Wait.
came back?
Welcome to Spoiler Alerts podcast. Greg ruined something huge in the show. I'm never watching it. Go
'Kay,
ahead.
so
Wait, hold on. Spoiler alert for anyone who actually wants to skip ahead like
Stop
a minute.
listening.
Okay, it came out in 2003. You should watch it by now.
Okay,
Season 1, they
Go.
get out of the prison. Season
Whoa.
2, they're on the run.
What's season 2 called? Prison Break.
No,
We out,
no,
bitches.
it's just it's still
Prison break and then
Okay.
they spent 1 season in the prison?
And then season 2, they're on the run. Season 3, they're in a prison in Panama.
What are you?
They
This
buy
sounds
their-
like a Rihanna
By their own choice?
album.
Or did
No,
Hold
they
on.
were put into that
Rihanna, Prison Break,
And then
Rihanna's album 2, On the Run.
and then season 4, at the end of season 3, they get out of the prison in
shocking.
Panama. And then season 4, they were trying to take down this company that was behind everything called, get this, The Company.
The company.
The Company.
But is that like the McDonald's thing? Like, all our burgers are 100% real beef. Yeah, because the company's name was 100% real beef.
Yeah, no, it
Did
was,
you know that?
Yeah, the
Yeah,
company's
fun
name
fact.
is... Yeah, fun fact
The
about
more you
McDonald's. They won't sponsor us now, but that's fine. It's okay, I don't even...
Do they
I don't
sponsor
think they
anyone?
do.
No.
I don't think they need to.
No.
Wait, do they even use... Did they ever use famous people? I'm trying to remember when we were younger. McDonald's in the
I
commercials.
think
They don't have the A&W guy, I can tell you that.
the A&W guy's the bomb. But American people wouldn't know about the A&W guy because their A&W is different than our A&W.
What do you mean?
Our A&W has the burger family. They don't have that down there in the States.
Why? Why don't they have the burger?
Because it's Canadian.
Just like
That's
burger,
Canadian.
slightly bigger patty burger.
Double burger.
Like
How
it's
is supposed to? Okay, to fill everyone else in, what's the run of the burgers?
baby burger,
Which is what?
a small patty for
Okay.
a child.
Okay.
Teen burger, which is probably the best burger, because that's your loaded burger with lettuce, tomatoes, bacon,
It's
mayonnaise,
funny that the teen is better than the mom.
and then the mom. Well, because moms suck. Just
Man, have
kidding.
you ever been on the internet?
Mother's Day
You're
just
here
happened.
because of your mother.
I know, my mom's awesome. I celebrated Mother's Day with her.
Okay, so what's
We're
on,
not talking about
what's on
hockey.
the mom? What's on the mom though?
Just cheese and beef and a bun, and that's
Single
it.
patty.
Single patty.
Okay.
Papa, you get 2 patties.
Okay, but same as the mom.
Yeah.
Double.
Grandpa, you get 3 patties. Now
That
there's
doesn't make sense though. Have you ever
grandpa's
seen
got-
a grandpa eat a grandpa patty?
never.
They'll bust their jaw.
Exactly. And then the most recent one is the Uncle Sirloin burger. You get a sirloin burger.
That
and then the
sounds
other one
super
is the
creepy.
is,
Can I get an Uncle Sirloin and a teen?
and then
Sorry.
the last one is the Buddy Burger.
What?
They're little sliders and they're called Buddy Burger.
So what's
Welcome to Canada.
So how is a baby and a buddy burger different?
The baby burger is a bigger version of a slider, but the slider they're cheaper.
It's not a slider.
Okay,
It's not a burger.
hockey. So, Game 6, New York, Ottawa. Ottawa plays New York to, New York falls asleep playing, so Ottawa wins. So, Ottawa beat New York. That's
They
how
fell
that
asleep.
series... Yeah, well, New York just fell asleep. I don't know a better way to describe that because I didn't watch any of that series because I did not watch
I
it.
felt bad
Again-
for Hank when the empty net goal went in the Game 6 because he looked like he was about to cry.
He's the king with no ring, and he'll continue to be
I
that.
felt bad for him.
Until,
Very
again,
bad.
my suggestion, Henrik Lundqvist and Alexander Ovechkin. If you want to turn heel, come to the team that you guys can't beat in a 7-game series. The Philadelphia Flyers. Come to the Philly. We'll beat
No,
the
how about
Pens,
this?
we'll
How about
win.
this?
We'll move on.
How about the
Cup
Jets
champ.
trade for
Watch
Hank?
him get swept around going by
Jets
Columbus.
trade for Hank. There you go.
Oh yeah, what are they going to give up?
Yep.
Nothing,
Nick
because
Petan.
shovel day off, it's in his name. Day off. He never works. He's
Never.
He just gets sweet deals on nice suits. That's it. That's why he's there.
And he's...
He makes a
knows,
trade every 4 years.
He knows how
He
to
has
talk to
7
the media.
acquisitions.
He knows how to talk to the media.
Yeah, out of the right side of his mouth. Yeah, we know that. Have you seen him talk?
Someone's overcritical of how someone
Jesus.
talks.
You know what? He's got a fangled
Nice
tooth on
lisp,
him.
Cam. Nice lisp.
I had
Go
it.
fuck yourself.
Screw you.
Go fuck yourself.
Screw you, dude. That's very rude.
Very rude. And then the other series that went to Game 6 was Pittsburgh, Washington. Oh, well, it was in Game 6 while we were doing the last podcast, so Cam didn't want to know. I checked my phone. They had one shot with 3 minutes left, Pittsburgh did.
They were losing 1-0 and they had one shot when we left.
I was wondering, I read Greg's face a little bit, and I'm like, maybe they're just playing with me. And then I watch a game, and I'm like, wow, this is something.
So Washington won Game 6 5-2, which set up for Game 7, where it was going to be Washington had all the momentum. I said it last podcast. Washington win Game 6. They should be able to run the table down. Thought so as well.
Yeah.
And we forgot that Marc-Andre Fleury, I guess, sold his soul to the devil. I don't know what he did to get all this goaltending skill in a
We
big
forgot
game.
that they were the Capitals.
And
They
they couldn't. No,
They didn't even look good.
no.
They
In the
looked
first
like
2 periods, I thought they dominated
Oh.
the first 2 periods. I had never seen a team play so bad when they're trailing by a goal ever. Washington did not look desperate in the third period.
No.
They were making these stupid passes. They weren't putting the puck on net in the third. For whatever reason, it's like they were down by 1 and they decided to give up. And
the last period of your season and they had 3 shots with like 5 minutes left or something.
yeah, it was
Like, it was
ridiculous.
It was literally like they were playing down by 8-0.
At
like
no
they weren't even
point,
trying.
at
They-
no point in that third period did you even think they had a chance to come back.
And that's the weird thing. I don't know if that's
For
coaching.
me watching.
I don't know
No,
if that's
yeah.
coaching. I don't know if that's personnel. I'm not, or they were just tired. I don't know what it was, but they did not look like a scary team. I don't know who's going to pay Kevin
Scary bad.
Shattenkirk #1 money after this playoff run, because like Kevin Shattenkirk's been probably one of their worst defensemen.
He spent so much money that he hasn't gotten yet.
Exactly. I think that Carl Alsner is almost worth more money than what Kevin Shattenkirk showed.
And he's a UFA also.
Yeah.
Or
So
is
it'll
it
make-
the Brooks
it makes it
Orpik curse?
There's
Oh,
lots
yeah.
of UFAs in Washington this year though.
Well, Oshie's gone.
Oshie, Beagle,
Williams.
Shattenkirk, Alsner. Who else is there's quite a few guys.
Yeah, they're basically losing everybody except for Ovi, Backstrom. Johansson's still
Oshie's up
there.
too. If you didn't name him.
Sorry, I meant Ovi Backstrom. Yeah, Oshie's up there.
Kuznetsov.
Is
Kuznetsov,
Kuznetsov up though? I think
Burakovsky.
he's an RFA.
He might be an
He's
RFA.
RFA.
But he'll
Both him
stick
and
around.
Burakovsky are RFAs.
Oh no,
So they're-
Burakovsky you could get for
Yeah.
under 3, but
And then Johansson.
He's good.
And then you have Orlov is still there. They'll have Carlson still there. Niskanen and Orpik will still be there, unfortunately. And they should... Honestly, I looked at it. I did the buyout calculator on catfriendly.com. They should buy out Orpik and they save like $3 million next season.
That was the other thing I did not understand. There was like 10 minutes left in the third period, and Orpik and I forget who. Basically, Orpik hit him, and the guy grabbed onto his stick a little bit. So Orpik pretty much put him in a headlock for 10 seconds, and then they fought. If there's 10 minutes left in your season, and you're one of your defenders that your team relies on, why are you fighting in that situation? You're taking yourself out for 5 minutes when you guys need 2 goals. It just seemed very out of place and didn't make sense.
well, again, anything that they did in that third period, it just didn't make sense in general. Like when they were trying to break into the zone, they broke character and what worked for them all year was carrying the puck and then they would draw past it at the blue line. One guy would carry it in and they'd set up. In the last half of that third period, they were dumping it in, and I'm like, "Why you need the puck right now. Why are you dumping it? It's crazy."
It didn't make
and the
sense.
Capitals knew what to, or the Pens knew what to do every time. They were just like, "All right, get it, wait for them to pinch, pass it back to the other D. They'd send it right back to the guy who just had it. Boom, they're already set up for a breakout again, and they just took their time coming out of the zone.
So
and that's
Pittsburgh
30
ended up
seconds
winning-
every time they did that.
Pittsburgh ended up winning game 7 2-0, right?
Yep.
2-0. So then we went to... The one thing I do have to say is having back-to-back game 7s is awesome. But probably, in my opinion, this next game, like the game 7 between Anaheim and Edmonton, was probably one of the best of the playoffs so far.
Yeah,
Just
I would say
excitement,
so.
like everything was happening, as Bob Cole would say. Like there was just a lot of. It seemed that the game could go any way at any point, which was really exciting, considering the snore fest almost that Washington Pittsburgh was, because that did not live up to the hype of a game 7 at all, because one team decided not to show up for 3 periods. So obviously, Anaheim, Edmonton. I think with Anaheim winning this game, obviously, I just think that they won because of experience more than anything else.
Well, yeah, and also Edmonton's attack plan, because what were they were down by 2-1?
It was 2-1. 2-1 final.
2-1. Well, at the time when they pulled their goalie with like 3 minutes or 2.5 minutes left, whatever the time was, Edmonton's basic, like, their only attack was get McDavid the puck, essentially, and Anaheim's like, they were like triple covering him the whole time.
And Leon Draisaitl's been probably as good as McDavid's been. Draisaitl's been just as good.
This is his coming out party. Like,
had
now people know how good he is.
13 points in the second round.
Yeah.
And his team didn't win.
He was
7 games.
in the last little while. He was a winner of the Memorial Cup MVP of the Memorial Cup tournament, where he wasn't on the winning team, which is
pretty hard to do.
It happens more often than not, but it's still really hard to do. Like, he blew people out of the water, and that was that Kelowna team that acquired Morrissey, and then like 2 weeks later got Draisaitl, both from the Prince Albert Raiders, and Prince Albert's like, oh, it's fine, we're going to be bad for a little while, but it's good. They're turning around, though. They're going to be...
Quick question about that Kelowna team, because there's another defenseman on the team named
Madison
Mattis
Bowey.
Bowey. Is he going to be with Washington next year?
I think so. Why?
Yeah.
Oh, because he's in his 3rd year, so they have to protect him, don't they?
No.
Oh, he's
he hasn't
exempt.
played any games in the NHL yet.
Oh, there's no rules like that?
No.
I still don't understand. the
He
rules.
hasn't started his entry-level contract.
Oh,
He
because
hasn't?
he's been playing in the
he's
AHL, so wouldn't that count?
That counts.
That counts.
Oh, I thought he was still in the... Oh.
No.
Okay,
that
so
was
he's
his
had
last-
1 year in the AHL.
If
Okay.
2 years. Two in the AHL.
If you play in the AHL, you're
No,
Yeah, he's had 2 years.
it does affect it.
'Cause
but
that
I
was
think,
his-
it
no,
still
but he's-
burns a year of your because to not burn a year you have
Yeah.
to play less than 10 games and go back to junior.
Yeah.
You can't play in the AHL.
Yeah,
That's
no, well,
why
you can't.
that's why Kyle Connor playing more than 10 games and then getting sent down this year didn't matter.
Yeah,
'Cause he
no,
wasn't
it
going
doesn't
back to college.
Yeah.
So he was gonna
It's
burn a year.
different. It's different for USA players, and like
You mean NCAA?
NCAA as well as European players, because they have a slide year.
Yeah.
If they're 18, you can slide them a year.
But,
and
yeah, but
that's
he-
what they did. That's what
But he
the Leafs
wasn't
did
going
with,
back, so there was no point in
Logan.
him.
Well, that's like fun fact about even the draft is here. Nico Hischier.
But they don't have to, and they don't have to protect Madison Bowey because he's not leaving his entry level contract.
That's true. But I thought it was like, what's that? Okay,
No.
what's the thing with the 3rd year? That's just like if you're
Then
on
you're
entry
if
level,
you've
you're
played your 3 years,
Oh,
then you're in RFA status
God.
and you have to be protected.
Got it. Okay, so either way, you're good. To
But you're an RFA, like, you're an RFA now till you're what, 26?
26, yeah.
Like that's the
26,
thing
27.
that people with
26 or 7 years played in the league.
the thing that people with Jacob Trouba don't really understand is that when his contract runs out after this year, he's still a Jet for 2 more years. He's an RFA for 2 or 3 more years.
They still have his rights, and
But I'm just saying.
I don't understand how we got onto Jacob Trouba because we weren't really talking about him, but
No,
that's
but
fine. Let's
I'm
just
just saying-
talk. I didn't think we were a Jets podcast. That's all.
I'm
I
saying
didn't think we were.
contract-wise, people are saying, "Oh, well, the Jets have to sign him this year. Or he's gone." Not
You guys,
necessarily.
I think we just found
Don't-
the answer.
Because
The Jets have already, even if they lose one of their best defensemen, they already have one of the greatest decors pretty much of history. So why
Ever.
not trade Jacob Trouba for the player we mentioned that the Jets could use and win a cup with? Henrik Lundqvist. It's the only fair trade I could think of.
Does Hank have a no movement?
Yeah, he does.
He'll come to Winnipeg, it's fine.
Here's-
really?
Winnipeg's the
Yeah.
New York of the North.
Yeah,
Of
is it?
Canada.
Yeah.
Actually, I've heard people say
It's
we're
the New
Chicago of the North, and I'm
We
like,
are.
in what? Because we both
Windy
own-
City.
It's cold and it's windy,
It's cold and it's windy, and Jonathan Taves habits here every so often.
and half
Yeah.
the Blackhawks team is from Winnipeg.
Yeah, allegedly.
Well, Doug and Keith was apparently born in a hospital here.
Keith was born here. Sharp was born here. Taves is from here.
Seabrook had some tie to Winnipeg somehow.
I was born in Bermuda Triangle. I'm totally glad.
Where are you? That actually explains a lot.
Yeah, makes a lot more sense.
The mystery is now solved.
So Anaheim moved on. So it was Anaheim Nashville game 1, which started on Friday. They were the first series, and well, let's just talk about the West then. Let's because we made our predictions.
Oh yeah, we have to do a oh, that's my job.
I didn't remember what I picked.
I
Oh,
don't
yes,
Here we
think
do.
go.
I did.
Okay, so these are the predictions that I tweeted out just to make sure they're official. So I took Preds in 6. Greg took Preds in 6. Dan took Preds in 7. I carried over Ellis for the tiebreaker, and Greg took PK Subban. Dan didn't need anything. And then in the East, I took Penguins. Dan took Pens in 5. Dan took Pens in 6. Greg just throwing away his money, but Sens in 6.
See, here's the thing though.
And
If the
after the
Sens
first
win,
game, he was probably so happy.
I wasn't though. I
If the
don't
Sens
want,
win, if the Sens win, Greg automatically wins. Like if the Preds win,
or if
He
Anaheim
wins.
loses,
I can see picking a team
Yeah.
that's
or if Anaheim.
I can
Yeah.
see picking the team that like is probably not going to win if it's like a team you like. But why would you pick a team that's not going to win when you don't like them?
Because I'm tired of seeing the Penguins.
You picked Ottawa to win, but you hate
oh,
them.
you're tired of seeing the Penguins and their fantastic franchise continue to win and show how to run a team. And
This
Phil
is starting to become like the NBA with Pittsburgh right now.
The only
For some reason, they don't lose. I don't understand how teams can't beat them.
the only
Without they're last year they were missing Trevor Daley. This year they're missing Christopher Letang.
Are you
And
shitting
they
me? They
still
were
can't
missing
win.
Trevor Daley, dude,
Last
and
year.
teams couldn't beat him?
He's a
What?
good defenseman.
dude Ron Haynes. I'm pretty sure Ron Haynes is like their
Better than half.
top defenseman.
Who's better on Philadelphia?
Radko Gudas.
No, he's
Radko
not.
Gudas.
No, he's
Yes,
not.
he is.
No, he's
Are
not.
you kidding me?
No, I'm not.
Dude, oh, you're out of your goddamn mind.
No, your love for Radko Gudas is
you
not.
go to 28 other teams. We'll take Flyers and Penguins out of this, and you're like, okay, you can have Gudas. No, don't even look at the contracts. Gudas or Trevor Daley.
Most teams are taking Trevor Daley.
2/3 of those teams are taking Gudas.
No, they're not.
I think
Yes!
Trevor Daley's age works against him a little bit. If Trevor Daley was like 5 years younger, yeah.
Yeah, and let's just
Trevor
factor
Daley's
in
just
an
a better
intangible.
defenseman.
Let's factor in an intangible here.
Trevor Daley knows how to play hockey, and Radko Gudas knows how to punch
does
things.
know how to play hockey.
Have you watched
Yeah,
him?
Have
No,
I
you
watched Radko Gudas play hockey?
he-
yeah.
No,
quite a bit.
because he doesn't
punched
play
his own
hockey. He
teammate in a
punches people.
tournament.
Yeah, it's a World Championships. All
When
fair
was
and
the last
less and
time-
war, Dan. What's that?
So how many points did Radko Gudas have this year?
I don't
What
know.
was his plus minus? Even though it's a irrelevant stat.
We're not talking about a relevant stats thing because I don't actually.
What's
know
his Corsi?
You're talking about an
Terrible.
irrelevant player.
Probably
What does
fantastic.
Trevor Daley do?
Pull up the numbers in, Greg. Pull up. Go find a Corsi site.
But to
Greg's
be fair,
quiet for the next
to
10
be fair,
minutes.
Trevor
trying
Daley,
to prove me
Trevor
right.
Daley is injury plagued now. He broke his leg last year. Didn't even
Let's
play
just
in the
talk about
Stanley
the
Cup.
intangibles here, okay?
Yeah.
Trevor Daley's beard only wishes it was half as good as Radko Gudas' beard as well. And Trevor Daley only wears 6 to tell people he's twice as good
I feel
as
like Gudas is a guy you'd like in the playoffs for your team because he's a mean mother.
I know why Dan doesn't like Gudas.
I just don't.
Because a couple years ago in Tampa Bay, when Gudas played for Tampa, Richard Ladd was there.
I just don't think he's that good.
Better than Trevor Daley.
Okay, here's the thing.
Corsi
He
numbers.
might be a decent hockey player, but I just find he's
If we're bringing it back to the original argument, Trevor Daley in or out of your lineup. Sure, they're missing Chris Letang, so Oli Mata and Justin Schultz, although Schultz is now injured. They're stepping
And
up.
Mata got blamed so much for that for game 1 against Buffalo.
Yeah.
Well, he got beat on that rush by Bobby
Yeah, but
Ryan.
he was in his right position. Schultz shouldn't have
Oh,
pitched
and
that
for
well.
everyone crapping on Bobby Ryan all year, he's been pretty good in the playoffs.
Dan, you already know where I stand with this. He makes $7 million. It's expected of
Did
him.
you see that backhand?
It's
Did you
expected
see that
of-
backhand on
Yeah.
an overtime goal?
He
That
beat
was a
any
$7
goalie.
million backhand.
Yeah, you're damn right it would be. That beats any goalie in the league. 10 out of 10 times, same move.
Oh, I'm not saying his contract's bad. I'm
Oh,
saying
Greg's
he-
grinning because he knows Gudas is better. Say the numbers, Greg. Say them out loud, because I'm right. That's why.
Here's the problem: is
Yeah.
I'm looking at the top 100, and I haven't been able to find.
Daley or Gudas. Yeah.
Well, I've been able to find one of them. I can't find the other.
Oh, because he's not
What are you
there,
looking at?
because I'm right. That's why.
What are you looking at?
He's trying to find Corsi numbers, and he can't
Corey,
find Trevor
Corsi
Daley.
stats over the last 4
He
years.
can't find Trevor Daley because he sucks. That's why. He's a suck.
Advanced stats don't matter.
Stance.
Stance.
Dude, that's how we're calling him now.
Dude, Colorado made the playoffs and they were the worst possession team in the league.
And
It
Calgary,
doesn't matter.
Calgary did it the next year.
doesn't
and
matter.
they won a round. Although they were playing the Canucks, so does it really matter? Did they even make
Is
the
that
playoffs?
even a victory?
When you make the playoffs
Does that count?
and you play Canucks, does it even count as making playoffs? I don't think so.
The funny thing is, the Jets beat the Flames.
Oh, Greg's scrolling real far, aren't you, Greg?
Here's the funny thing. I'm pretty sure the Jets, because were the Flames a wild card or no?
When they made the playoffs and
Yeah.
beat the Canucks?
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe. One of them, I'd hope, at least, like the stats that year, one of them were wild card because neither should have made the playoffs.
I will just say though that
Well, the Flames
on
are
this
okay.
on this thing, 4 of the top 5 in the last 4 years
Yeah.
are Los Angeles Kings defensemen.
Let me see
Really?
if we can name them. Okay, Doughty, obviously.
Doughty, Martinez,
No.
Muzzin.
Muzzin.
Yep. He's number 1.
Oh, no.
Doughty, Muzzin.
The deported guy?
No.
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 Voinov. It's the last 4 years. Voinov hasn't played for 3.
Right, that's a good
Oh,
point.
who's the guy that plays for them?
Alec Martinez.
No,
Jake
he
Muzzin,
already
Drew
said no.
Doughty,
He already said no to
Braden
Martinez.
McNabb.
McNabb,
Yep.
that's the guy.
McNabb's number 2. Doughty's 3. Then Josh Manson's 4, and this guy is a color.
What?
He's a color?
Mm-hmm.
Like he's...
His last name's a color.
Oh, I don't know which
Matt
green it is.
Green?
Andy
Matt
Green?
Green.
Matt
Matt
Green, okay.
He still plays like he retired.
Well, apparently he's milking the Corsi
He's
cash.
just
The
raking it in.
Sweet Corsi. What number was Gudas ranked? Because clearly Daley is unranked.
You know when you see guys getting contracts, you're like, what the piss is that? The guy's like, look at my Corsi. Yeah, exactly.
No! Oh no! Thorburns' contract is up this year.
Jesus.
Damn it! Oh, Postma too! Oh no! Postma's like, dude.
I was at a game last year that was like in December. The Jets were playing the Hawks, and my dad's like, Thorburn hasn't scored for a while. He's probably due for one. Next shift, he's out there, gets the puck at the blue line, turns around, slapper, top corner bar down.
Oh,
from
no.
From the blue line. I'm like, yep.
Yeah, there it is.
There it is.
Okay,
Yep.
what number is Gudas ranked?
Oh,
Oh, there it is. Back pedal, back pedal, back pedal, back
not
pedal,
backpedaling.
back pedal.
I still stand by the fact I think Trevor Daley's better defenseman.
Well, your
I'm
eye
not-
test sucks. That's why.
I don't say Gudas is a bad...
I don't watch either team because both of them suck. Both
Ergo,
teams suck.
okay. I'll take that. I'll take that
The
as
only
a...
way to watch
I'll
out
accept that as a... I'm wrong, Cameron.
Trevor,
I'll
Trevor
accept
Daley's
that.
team beat the team that beat Greg's team. So,
No,
I
they
think
did.
that...
I'll beat the team that beat
I
my
support
team.
both players, but you can't use
No.
Trevor Daley as an impact player when comparing
He
the
is.
series.
He was an impact player.
Like everyone else was in the series. I
I
don't
know.
think he was that huge.
But they won a cup without Trevor.
Look how far
They
we
won a
came
cup.
off the Penguins.
They won a cup without him last year.
Yeah. Without,
Who?
no,
Trevor
Daley
Daley
was there.
No, he broke his leg.
no, he broke his leg last year. That's what I'm saying.
Oh.
This year they're without Chris Letang.
Yeah,
So
Chris
still-
takes,
guys,
still
takes
play
a
with
non-factor.
Ron Hainsey.
But it's
He's
showing
coming back to the
emergence
Jets
of
next
Justin
year.
Schultz
$6 million
is
a
what
year.
it's really
Yeah.
shown. Like his ability to play has been very good lately.
Well, okay, but if Marc-Andre Fleury plays half as good as he is right now,
That's true.
I don't think they beat Washington.
We're skipping over the greatest thing in this series is the 30-year-old married couple that is Gino and Phil Kessel yelling at each
What
other on the
happened?
bench
I didn't
see
every
it.
game, dude. They're just like Gino, because Kessel, basically Gino and Kessel essentially, it seems like they always end up on the same side of the ice, even though Gino's a centerman.
Yeah.
And they're just getting I don't know, I guess Phil Kessel was used to playing with a workman type player. Not that Gino is not, he's fantastic. But Gino's more of a finesse guy, and he expects you to be there. And Kessel's not there because he's banging away at the front of the net. And so he's not getting passes or he's missing passes. Or yesterday, they run into each other when Kessel had the puck. And at the bench, that shift right before, they came off and they were like yelling at each other.
But they're just obviously frustrated because they're like, this team that we're playing against is so bad and boring. How are we not scoring against them more?
Yeah. Remember, wasn't one of the knocks on Kessel when he was in Toronto that he didn't care and he was lazy?
That was Steve Simmons.
That was, yeah.
Well,
that was one person's take.
He looks to me like he cares quite a bit.
Well, yeah.
And I don't think he's that lazy. He might enjoy the odd hot dog, but who doesn't?
They're delicious.
Exactly.
He's
You know how many
just,
hot
like,
dogs fit in the top of the
the
cup?
narrative.
21.
It's because he wasn't what Matt, like.
Because he
I'll
couldn't
go
carry,
into this again. I
he
think I'd
couldn't
go
carry
into
the
this.
team on his back by himself.
Exactly. He wasn't Matt Sundin. He wasn't Doug Gilmour. He wasn't Wendell Clark. He wasn't a guy that's going to come out and talk to the media and say everything you want to hear. And because he wasn't a captain, he wasn't the number
And
one
the
center.
captain was Phaneuf.
No,
Another guy who's not a guy who planned.
Did you see that hit last night? He laid on Rust.
Two of them, dude.
Yeah.
Rust and Genson.
I haven't seen
You know
that.
why?
I haven't
You
seen
know
him
why
do
he's
in a
playing that
while.
way is because he's not playing against teams' top lines.
Oh yeah, it's him and CC, and then
He is
who's
one of the-
Carlson with? Clayson?
I thought.
Oh, Method, yeah.
But Dion Phaneuf has one of the best shot suppression and angle changes out of any defenseman when he's not playing against teams' top lines because he can't keep up to their top lines.
That would make sense. Then that's Kessel's playing against Phaneuf.
No,
Because Kessel's not the top line.
I've thought Phaneuf's looked pretty good in the playoffs.
Oh.
And
Well,
that's coming
I think
from
he can. I thought he looked fine when they were playing against Boston. He was one of the few guys that showed some passion. Same with Komarov, but they benched him after.
But that hit last night, that was like flashbacks to his first couple of years in the league. Because
When it was
he
double
used to
Dion.
do that all the time.
My favorite early memory of Dion Phaneuf was when he went to go fight, I think it was a Canuck, and he went to go throw his gloves and he fell backwards and threw his stick and just flat on his ass.
Boy. Well,
All right.
he's played for 3 of the 7 Canadian teams, so he's only got 4 to go.
Do you want him in Winnipeg, though?
No, I don't.
No?
No.
So what are you saying? He's going to Montreal next?
Montreal, then he
Phaneuf
can,
is French, right? Phaneuf.
Phaneuf.
Dion Phaneuf.
He can play for Montreal, then he can go back to Vancouver, then Edmonton, and then suddenly he just retires before he gets back to Winnipeg.
Well, he is from Edmonton, right? So, I mean...
Is he from... Oh.
Because I think that Edmonton fans got upset that he got drafted by Calgary way back in the
His
day.
fault.
Alright, so basically...
Are you serious?
What?
Are you serious?
I'm pretty sure.
Oh, yeah,
I mean, I could be wrong. We're wrong with confidence, obviously.
Yep.
But to wrap up, to sum up this series, right now it's 1-1. And you guys, how do you feel about this Sens of Pens? Just
Boring.
When the Sens
Boring?
won
Okay, there
game
you go.
1...
You got one sentence.
When
Go.
the Sens won game 1, for a second I was like, oh... But then, I don't know.
Perfect.
It's gonna come.
I don't know.
In the long run, I still see Pittsburgh winning.
And that's
Okay.
the beauty about 7-game series is the fact that normally the better team's going to win that series because they'll just eventually edge out the other team. But
I mean, honestly, you want my opinion? I still say right now Pittsburgh's my favorite to win the cup.
for
still.
some, I have no interest in this series, and I really haven't had much interest in the Eastern Conference this year. Like for me, none of the matchups were that intriguing. And most of them involved the Sens. I wasn't that interested in Montreal, New York. I wasn't that interested in Boston, Ottawa. Was not interested in Ottawa, New York. I wasn't interested in anything to do with the Electric Division side of the playoffs. Everything in the Metro was fine because I enjoyed watching Washington.
You didn't
Toronto.
enjoy watching the Leafs?
I did enjoy watching.
Oh, I guess because technically they were on the
They're on the Metro side. Everything on the other side was just boring and uneventful, in my opinion.
And
So
see, last was it
that's the problem. with
Wednesday was the game 7.
mediocrity.
Yeah.
I was so pumped because I really wanted Washington and Edmonton to win those games, and when they both lost, I sat there. I'm like, I don't even care anymore. For a minute, I'm like, I don't
You
care.
put that in the group, you're like, I don't think I'm going to watch anymore.
Because I'm not saying that I was hopping on the Edmonton wagon, but they were so fun to watch. I was really hoping they were going to pull out. And when it came to be Anaheim again, the going on, I'm just like, eh. It's I honestly hope Nashville. Out of the 4 teams left, I'd like to see Nashville win the cup. But it could have been so much better, in my opinion.
All right, so now we move on to the West.
Nashville and Anaheim, which series is a 1-1 as well. Game 3 goes tonight. If you're a road team, honestly, if you can win the first game of that series, you're happy because if you can get a split in the first 2 games and then you can go home, and if you win both your games, you're up 3-1. You only have to win one more game in the next 3.
Tonight's a big game.
Well, right now the series is
1-1.
Oh, 1-1. Okay.
And really, Nashville went up early 2-0 against Anaheim in Game 2, and then Anaheim just chipped away at the lead. And that's what Anaheim's good at. They can chip away at the lead, but then Anaheim, then Nashville started pouring it on late in the third, and I thought they were going to score. There was one rush where there was just a huge scramble in front, and I think it hit everybody in front of the net. Mm-hmm. Everyone. And it just never went in. It's just one of those times where the puck couldn't find the back of the net.
This is also the first time all playoffs that Rene allowed more than 3 goals in Game 2.
But you know what? Like, I said at the beginning of the playoffs, if he plays well, they could go deep. And I still see them winning the series just because I like their depth over Anaheim's depth. But the side note to the series is their catalyst is Arvidsson, Forsberg, and Johansson. And it's very clear right now that there's a certain player on the Anaheim Ducks that's underneath that lines and one of those players' skins. Because Ryan Johansson, now Ryan Kesler did poke the bear a little bit by saying a few comments after Game 2. And then Ryan Johansson came back and was like, yeah, it's real fun playing with a stick in between your legs the entire time. Because he feels that Kessler's always has a stick in between Johansson's legs, so
or elbowing him when he skates by no call, or headbutting him off the face.
You know what?
It's little things.
He's 100% accurate. He's not wrong.
No,
and I don't blame him for saying what he said 100%.
No.
Kessler's probably the guy that if you know how like people always say, oh, but if he played for you, you cheer for him. I don't know.
I think he's different than Brad Marchand.
He crosses that line where it's like you're just a douche. Like, oh. And the thing I can't stand is like I was watching I think it was Game 2. I watched a little bit. There's a face-off. He doesn't even try and win the face-off. He just grabs Johansson's stick and holds it between his holds it so Johansson can't go anywhere.
Which should be actually a penalty.
So Johansson whips his stick out and goes for the puck and accidentally hits him in the mouth and he drops like he's been shot. That's what I can't stand. He has no integrity at all. None.
You want to talk about integrity? Look at Nick Bonino, that fucking tool.
What?
Okay, well, that was an Oscar sell.
What do you mean, Nick Bonino?
Did you not remember that in the
game 4? He was in the corner. Oshie went and stick checked him in the elbow, and Bonino did the head snap, and they gave him a high stick. And then the replay, you watch it, you're like,
it wasn't even close. It wasn't even close.
And there was like a minute and a half left in the game, and the Caps were down by a goal.
Well, now, Oshie shouldn't have been playing on the edge like that. He's
granted, this
he should have just let Bonino take the puck.
This is not the right comparison, but in the last 2 beer league games I had, the refs have asked me, "You got hit in the face there. That's why your next stat back." Yeah, didn't know for sure. Didn't want to call it. Versus NHL refs being like, "Nope, no, I don't care." Penalty.
Minute and a half left in the game. This will change the series here.
Whereas in beer league, the refs are like, "Well, I know that hit him. He's like, I heard it hit you, but I wasn't 100% sure if you were just trying to sell." I'm like, no, that's why my helmet went like this.
Yeah,
and it flew off. Yeah, I mean, Greg just knocked his hat off.
Yeah,
with Kesler, like you have to give him credit. He's very good at what he does. But I can never.
But see, here's the difference between a player like Ryan Kesler, who so Ryan Kesler, he'll do that after the whistle, before the whistle. And then I'm going to use another player, one of his teammates, Ryan Getzlaf. Will play hard until the whistle. He'll only go after you if there's a scrum and like you're trying to grab one of his guys, or if you cheap shot him. Otherwise, plays to the whistle. Yeah. Mind you, a few times he literally punches guys in the face. But hey, if you're going to get away with it,
I think Ryan Getzlaf is one of the best in the league at what he does.
Oh,
and he's so
that's
quiet
what I'm
about
saying.
it too. He's so quiet about it.
Yeah.
And I think we're going to look back on him and we'll kind of look. The difference, I think, with this comparison I'm about to make is he's won a cup versus Joe Thornton, who hasn't. And we're going to look back on Ryan Getzlaf's career kind of the same way that we've looked at Joe Thornton and just see kind of what a gem he really is.
You want to see something? You want to have a good laugh?
Go.
Google his draft picture because he has hair.
No.
Ryan Getzlaf.
Oh yeah, he has frosted tips.
Frosted tip hair.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
It's like Brent Burns' draft pick.
He doesn't have a beard.
Yeah, I know. He looks like a baby. It's hilarious.
Yeah. But what I also like about the narrative with Ryan Kesler and Ryan Johansson is...
Oh, I remember Ryan Getzlaf's hair, yeah.
I totally forgot.
After Game 2, where Ryan Johansson's like, I don't even know how like his family supports him. I don't know how the people can cheer for him. Like, that doesn't make sense. But that shows me that Kessler's winning the battle because he's in his head.
And that's the part that pisses you off is because he's good at what he does.
But I'm with him. It's like, how can you cheer for a guy that I understand playing on the edge? You know, maybe give a couple stick taps here, or you know, a late shot here, or you know, just a quick cross check right into the back or like in the ribs, not to hurt the guy, but to let him know that you're there.
Yeah.
Like little, like it's gamesmanship. But when you're literally going and trying to spear people in the nuts, you're going over and beyond trying to injure guys. How, as a fan, can you cheer for that? Like, we've all been to Jets games. Not once have I been like, oh, I think Dustin Byfuglien's lined up for this hit to injure the guy. You're cheering for him because he's playing on the edge and he's going to make that big hit. And you're cheering for that. You're not cheering for him potentially injuring someone. Like, one of my favorite moments to this day at a Jets game that I'll remember is Cam and I were at the game, and they were playing against Colorado, and he hits one guy, and then I think he hits Barry, and then just another guy comes in and he just like throws him off at a forearm, and both
He
the guys
hit Tyson Barry so hard that he went sideways into the boards 5 feet off the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
I remember that.
and it's one of those things where you can play with that edge, but I think you also have to realize that there's...
It's playing with an edge, but still being a respectable opponent.
Yeah.
I guarantee you talk to 10 guys in the NHL. I bet you most of them will say Dustin Byfuglien's hard to play against, but he's a good guy.
How can you play with a guy like
I guarantee
Kesler?
you ask those same people about Ryan Kesler, they'll tell you he's a prick.
Or no comment.
Yeah, or no comment.
Which is the equivalent of I don't like him.
I'm
not answering this.
I was watching a Jets game once, and or they were. I think they were talking about. I think they were playing the Coyotes, and they were talking about when Max Domi fought Ryan Kesler, and he pretty much mopped the floor with him. And then Shane Yadi was kind of like, I like to see that. Like, kind of that's coy, like they're asking about it. He's like, oh, good, yeah.
Oh yeah, like
so like other players don't even like him. Like it's like.
My question is how do the guys on his own team react to him?
Well, I mean, he's doing it for you, right? So maybe maybe it's different. Like he used to play for the Manitoba Moose, and we never really noticed it back then.
But I don't think that was his role at the Moose.
No,
I don't think he ever played that style until he got... Because when he was at the Moose, I believe he was on the first line, and he was kind of looked to as a scorer. I believe that he was playing with Jimmy Roy at the time as well. I could be wrong. I could be at different eras. But when he went to the Canucks didn't have a shutdown guy. They didn't have... Because they had the Sedins, which
in
were
their
scoring.
prime.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And they had this Kesler kid that's coming up, and they're like... We need you to stop the Getzlavs and the Perrys. We need you to stop the... I'm trying to think of the other juggernauts at the time. Well, and the Ducks just in general still
Joe
have...
Thornton still even, right?
Thornton.
But I'm just... And...
Shane Doan.
And Jerome McGinley and Shane Doan in his prime. And that was his role when he came into the league. And I'm just trying to think who else in the West was powerhouse.
And so to do that, though, to adapt, like he said, well, some of these guys are better than me. Oh, I'm just gonna...
Yeah.
I know how to get in their heads, so just keep talking.
And you see it all the time,
And
especially
keep little sticks.
in like a playoff series. You know, this one guy might really turn up the intensity, like maybe like a Tom Wilson guy.
Yeah, I was just gonna say Tom Wilson's
turns
in
up the
Cam's head,
intensity,
and he's never played against
He
them.
gets in guys' heads. He's battling. But as soon as the series is over, like he goes to the guys he's been battling with, and those guys are like, good job.
Yeah.
Kessler's just a douche. It doesn't matter if it's game 25 of the season or game 7 of the Stanley Cup Final. He's the same guy. It's just how it's the way he is.
Well, even I'll just use how Tom Wilson's in my head. This past weekend, so friend of the show, Carrie, he's planting a garden, and I said, I want to buy hot peppers. And so I bought a ghost pepper, and I named it Evgeny, after Evgeny Kuznetsov. And I got a
Because
Carol...
he was a ghost in the playoffs?
No, because I'm not going to like it when it's in my mouth.
Oh.
Well,
Wow!
That's what she said.
Oh!
And then I also got I got a Carolina Reaper, which is the second hottest pepper in the world, and I named it Tom after Tom Wilson. Because I'm really not going to enjoy that when it's in my mouth for sure.
Yeah.
We'll just stick it
That's
there.
what she said.
Yeah, for sure.
Thanks.
Hey, but no.
Thanks, Michael Scott.
I just want like a Michael Scott button thing where I hit a button and it's different intonations of
That's
him
what she
saying
said.
that's what she said.
My favorite
That's
still,
what she said.
on a side note for The Office,
Or
my
just
favorite,
different quotes from the show.
my favorite That's What She Said moment is when him and Jan are having the argument, he's sitting at the end of the table and he's just like trying to hold her, he's just like, that's what she said!
There's a video of lines from the original Star Wars movie and then him saying that's what she said after them. It's pretty funny. That show was so funny.
No, but regardless, I think that Nashville's just got to turn up the intensity. You know who needs to be a Ryan Kesler is PK Subban. He needs to become a dick.
By the way,
and really piss off Ryan Kesler.
By the way, I got cable in my new house, so they gave me HBO free for 2 months. I watched the PK documentary.
Oh, I haven't seen it yet.
Fantastic!
I have it recorded here. Pretty good.
Yeah?
Yeah,
I haven't seen
very
it yet.
good.
It kind of gives you a bit of more of an insight into him, and I can see why he rubs people the wrong way, because he does live that I'm rich lifestyle. He has the fur coats and all that.
The nice suits and the...
So he definitely isn't afraid to, show his wealth, and he's not
Show
afraid
his
to
success.
say, I think I'm the best player in the league, and if I'm not the best player in the league, then why am I here?
Yeah, but he's also one.
But then you look deeper down and see what he does for all the kids, how good he is to charity, and all this other stuff that you do, and you... Even if some of the things about his personality rub you the wrong way, and I can see how they would, at the core of it, he's a very good person.
Well, what I was going to say about PK is that the reason he says, he's like, I'm the best player in the world, I believe. Like, he's just one of those guys who, has to, say it out loud and, affirm it for him to believe it. Like, those guys, I'm sure Mark Scheifele probably thinks, he's for sure the best or whatever, but he doesn't go about saying,
he doesn't sit there saying, I think I'm the best, and PK does.
Yeah,
and that's fine
exactly.
because he believes it.
Yeah.
And, I mean, he's got a point. If you don't think you can be the best,
Why are you there?
He's basically, his message is, if you don't try and become the best, why are you there? And that's fair, right?
And on, the whole, flaunting the wealth situation, I think it's something that when... I don't know his entire backstory, but I believe that he didn't come from a lot. Or, he came from a very hard-working family.
Hard-working. He had a big family. His
and
dad wakes him up at 5 a.m. in the summertime to train.
So he appreciates everything he has. And that's why I think he's so generous to charity and why he's so generous to giving back is because he knows how hard it is for some people. He understands that because he was through it. But he's not afraid to show, hey, kids, this is what you can have if you want to put this in. Because he's showing a different side. Because when you look at a lot of kids who've made it to hockey and made it through the ranks, they don't have PK Subban stories. They have stories like Jonathan Taves or Carey Price where they come from upper middle class families who put them through the schools, put them through the camps. Yeah, they had the 6 a.m. days. Yeah, but they had the money to support everything, and they didn't have to worry about taking on an extra job. And then when you have a story, and that's why they're a little bit less kind of showing off their wealth. Whereas when you have PK Subban, this is a case with a lot of players in the NBA and the NFL because they're a little bit more heartwarming stories when you look at those leagues. That these guys are more into showing off what they have because they want to. I think more in PK Subban's story, he wants to show people that you can come from nothing and end up with something.
My favorite story, just in regards, it's not hockey related, but there's a defensive lineman for the Giants 5-10 years ago. His first NFL check out of training camp, it was $15,000 American, and they wrote it to him, and he's like, well, where do I put it? And they were like, what? And he's like, well, I don't have a bank account. And he cashed it at a Money Mart. And
they lost a good percentage.
He lost 21% of it, but dude, cashed it and got 12 grand or
cash.
11 grand cash. And then he showed up at camp the next day, literally with a duffel bag and just a cash in it. And then someone in the management's like, why do you have money full of cash? He's like, well, where else am I gonna put it? They're like, your bank. And he's like, I've never had one. It's we laugh now, but it's true. Some people weren't fortunate enough to grow up and have situations like that.
And and that's where I think there's certain knowledge that needs to be passed on to players where it's okay, this is, when you're drafted by the personal opinion, this is just from that side of me, that's that professional side. I think that there should be somebody with the team that when you're drafted, you say, hey, we'll set you up with a bank account, we'll set you up with a place to live, we'll set you up with, and if you can't afford it, this is what we'll do for you, and this is where the checks are going to go, this is how everything's going to work out, and then this is how we're going to plan around, because the problem with a lot of athletes is they don't plan for the future. They plan for the now, especially in football where it's a lot of careers only 5 years long. Mm-hmm. And you're making all your money in 5 years, and then you have to find a way to make that money last.
And one injury, you're gone because not guaranteed contracts in
exactly.
the NFL, depending on if you're good or not.
Yeah, and even then, guaranteed contracts.
Do professional sports teams not have what you're talking about?
Some they don't always have it. A lot of teams don't have, a guy. They don't have a financial guide for their team.
Okay.
They don't have a guy to go to the players because I don't know if they don't see a point to it, but I think that's up to the league to show kind of its worth because seriously, when you have 18-year-olds and in the cases of NFL and NBA, 20-year-olds that have come from very little because, and a lot of these kids just were born with natural talent and they wanted to put the effort and the work in. They got those college scholarships, kept working, went through the classes, and then now they're playing in the NFL, but they've never had, most of them had jobs, but they never had like abundance of wealth like they do now. And that's why a lot of NFL players, the first things they do when they buy when they get their first checks is they buy their parents a brand new house, they buy all their friends' cars, they buy all their aunts and uncles' cars, and they run out of money so quickly. Mm-hmm. And they need somebody to kind of help them. And I watched a documentary, I think it was a 30 and 30, but a lot of the players, they don't want to talk to somebody about money because they've never had that before. And they're like, well, it's my money, I should be able to do what I want with it. And they need to have somebody come in and be like, we'll let you, but we want you to have this money for life instead of having it for 2-3 years.
Was it Jack Johnson whose parents like?
Yeah, because they were his financial advisors.
$5 million or something?
And they
put all his money in like bonds or investments, and then they bankrupted him or something.
Yeah, they bankrupted him. Yeah, that was him.
So yeah, because when that came out, like for the next, that was what, a year and a half ago?
Yeah.
So for the next essentially 3 years, Jack Johnson is like just playing essentially to pay off like debt people and like all like the courts and all.
Which is one of the and he can take his parents to court, but they're not worth anything.
Yeah.
So he's not going to get anything
what
out
his
of it.
parents did was just ruin a trust bond with their son.
Yeah, essentially just said that we're gonna and that's where you see with sport, you see a lot of people say, I want my son to grow up and be in the NHL. A lot of our parents might have had that dream or be some sort of
mine for
professional.
sure. I started playing when I was like 16.
Yeah.
I had it right to the top.
But you had those those dreams, and in some cases the parents want to live vicariously through that, and in some cases they want to have that for themselves. One of the best cases of it is LeVar Ball in NCAA right now with his kid. Yeah. I never, but the ball kids and
big baller brand.
Yeah, I'm sorry, you're trying to sell $230 sandals. It'll appeal to certain people, but it's not going to appeal to everyone.
That's a lot of money for shoes.
For a pair of
big
sandals,
baller brand.
$450 for a pair of shoes.
$499.
Oh, sorry.
If you want them signed, they're $749.
That you're never going to wear. They're only for collectors. So it's great for sneaker.
Just let me cut out this kidney and go to the black market. Then I'll go.
I think you're still going to become.
But nonetheless,
I'm not devaluing your body. I'm
devaluing my kidney.
Yeah.
To move back to hockey, PK Subban's great. His story is awesome. I still need to watch the HBO thing. If you guys haven't, go out and watch it.
Worth watching.
Oh,
it's good.
I just want to start. You know how you guys have hashtag jerseys for Kevin, jerseys for Fiala, jerseys for Fiala. Hold on, I got to think of a good one right now. Hashtag justice for the anthem singer in Nashville. They're being shafted. You know how I told you how they're Nashville,
bringing new people.
They
all
have
the time?
top notch. Well, I think he sang once all playoffs,
yeah,
and apparently he's going.
They have to ride the country singer.
People know who he is, and he has to go around and be like, they're like, dude, why are you singing? He's like, oh well.
They brought Dirk Bentley in tonight.
Who's Luke Bryan? Who's that? Joe Schmo. So, you know what? I hope they bring him in. But yeah, apparently he's getting pretty upset. But you know what? Don't rattle the waters too much. You're in Nashville. There's a lot of singers who want your job. I'd stay quiet.
Yeah, exactly.
Enjoy the buffet during the game.
They might,
free tickets.
They might get you a ring or something. If they win.
Certain... They're allowed
Stacy better get a goddamn ring.
You're allowed to give certain staff rings. I don't know how far...
I'm sure... Well, that's just all money issue. Because I know... There was I just heard through the Steve Dangle podcast, a friend of his worked for the Chicago Cubs, but then, got a pay raise, but, a downgrade in a job in terms of he was going to be, a head of, some university program. But he got hired, 3 months before the Cubs won it all. But they sent him a ring. They gave him a ring. But either way, so I think it's just on the owner's side, and I think David Thompson... David Thompson's good to go, so it's okay.
They're $15,000.
Wait, David Thompson's the owner of the Jets?
Thompson, yeah.
Thompson/Chipman. Yeah.
Okay.
Chipman's
cheap, dude.
To move on now.
I think he's cheap.
I think if they win the cup, the revenue that they get from those playoff games will be enough to...
Well, yeah, sorry. Let me back scratch. Can I have a ring? Second one. He's probably not cheap. I've never had to pay for $50,000 ring for one, let alone everyone's like, can I have one? Come on, Uncle Mark. Give me a ring.
Average price of an engagement ring? I'm just kidding.
Is that?
No.
I hope
No,
not.
No, you can buy them.
Never
for-
getting married.
3 months salary.
Jeez. Oh, 3 months?
3
Or
months
as
salary.
Michael Scott says, 3 years salary.
Yeah, 3 years salary.
Oh, dude.
Yeah. To move on though, Ben Bishop was moved from the Los Angeles Kings to the Dallas Stars, so his UFA rights were just traded. Has he been signed yet?
Yeah,
Okay.
6 years, 4 point something a year. or
You know
something.
what?
They've got like 15 mil
So-
in their goaltending right now almost.
The fact that he signed for less than 5 is nice, and makes you wonder
Oh, yeah.
like why other.
But his
teams
cap
might
hit
want
for
him.
the first couple years is 7 point.
Why is that bonuses?
His cap hit's high to start, like 7 point something, and then it goes down to
I thought
about.
they weren't allowed to do that.
Well, they're doing it.
Okay, are you sure that's not salary?
Or salary that they're paying
his
him.
salary's high. the
His
first
cap
couple
hit's
years.
4 point. It's just under 5, but his
Okay.
salary is 7 point something for the first 2 years, and then it goes down.
So this brings up the question: what do they do with Lettinen and Niemi?
Well, they're going to leave them both open in the expansion draft and hope that one of them gets picked up. I don't think either of them will.
You buy out Niemi, you ride it out.
I think
How much longer is Lettinen?
Letton's got 1 more year, so you ride it
Okay.
out with him as a
Yeah.
backup. I think you try and move Niemi.
And Niemi's got 2 years left on his contract, but if you buy it out, it becomes 4
Does anybody
years.
bite on Niemi though at the price? Like how much it was? Did you know what
Okay,
his contract is?
Here's my question:
5
why,
something?
if you're the Jets,
Do you take a stab at that?
why wouldn't you?
Well, because there's some other guys. I mean,
All the other guys keep either valuing themselves too high out of the Jets' range or denying trades here,
I can tell you
or
right
get
away.
taken by the Dallas Stars.
The guy that I think they want is Fleury. He's been the guy that's been
Fleury
linked all
already
year.
declined a trade here, though, in the allegedly, according to like the internet. So I mean, take it with a
Yeah,
grain
but
of salt.
he declined it midway through the year because his team was going to the playoffs. When the season's over and he looks at
Niemi
and
is
he
at
looks at
4
a
and a
front-
half. Niemi's at 4
But
and a
here's
half.
the thing.
Lettinen's at 5.9.
if you're Fleury and the season's over, say they win a cup or say they don't win the cup, you know you're not going to be the guy next year. It's not like you have a chance at a playoff run because in February he's like, well, if I stay, I can go on a playoff run,
and they both only have 2 years left.
right? So if
Or
you're
1 year left.
so
1 year
if you're
left, sorry.
Oh, dude,
so
right,
if,
all of
so,
them out.
so if you're Fleury, why don't you potentially at the end of the year look at it as a clean slate, new start? I'm not saying he would come here. I'm saying you have more of a chance of getting him to come here to start a season than getting to come here halfway through when your team's not making the playoffs.
Here's my
Why would he want to come here in February when the Pens are going to make playoffs and the Jets aren't?
Here's my question: both Niemi
Because
and
he
Curry
loves
Lettinen
winning.
have no
I'm
trade
just saying.
clauses.
Say this again.
Niemi and Lettinen both have no trade clauses.
Who's the GM in Dallas again?
Jim Nill.
Get a new GM. Those guys should not have no movement clause. There's no way.
Benny want to go there?
How much are they
Jim
making?
Benny?
Jimmy B, Bimmy J, we'll call him.
But no,
To answer
Here's
your
what,
question,
man.
I don't think the Jets would bite on that. I think they're going to look.
if it's hypothetically, let's say it's a prospect that I don't know, a prospect that plays Churchman, Kevin Churchman, we'll just say, might be too high of a price right now, but Churchman, and you say we want Niemi, but you guys got to retain $1 million of the salary for 1 year. You're getting Niemi at $3.5 million, which was cheaper than what Andre Pavlik was last year, and you're getting a goalie who's been to the playoffs, who's won a Stanley Cup, who had a
Clearly okay at being a 1B.
clearly fine with it, and might help along with Hellebuck
But is
as
he-
another option.
Is he your best bet? Like, is he
How
the,
much is Fleury going to cost
is
you?
he the
Because Fleury's
first guy-
costing you probably Kyle Connor at this point, and
Is-
you're not giving up Kyle Connor.
Is he
for
the
it.
first guy that you go after though, or is he the guy you circle back to?
Oh, you circle back to
because
him.
you can. They have their Fleury,
James Reimer.
Ryan Miller's a free
James
agent.
Reimer.
Brian Elliott's a free
James
agent.
Reimer's going to be in Florida, dude.
I know.
He'll be starting goalie.
Like,
He'll be after Logan.
I don't think he's a bad bet.
I
but
think
honestly, do you know who I could see them going after? Because there's some connection there. Eddie Lack, because Carolina's going to trade him. They're not keeping 3 goalies.
But here's my question:
Eddie Lack
would you
doesn't
not
fix
want a guy who
I'm
wants?
just saying.
I know where Cam's going with this, and I think we're going on the same page. Would you not want a guy who's been an established starter before? Because Eddie Lack has never been that.
It doesn't. Eddie Lack doesn't get you anywhere.
I think
It's essentially signing another Michael Hutchinson.
Niemi
Why
had
is
one
Gi-
good year in Chicago, and he didn't even have that good year. He had a good playoff, and he won the cup. He's done nothing since. He's done nothing. What did he do in San Jose? He got them the playoffs.
But he
and
can still guide. Like, what do they want? I wish you could read minds.
He wouldn't be a bad option, but he wouldn't be one in my top 3 guys I try and go after.
What's
right
the
away.
end goal? What is he? What do the Jets want? They want a guy who's been
I
there.
think
who
you
can
go
mentor.
after Fleury.
Ryan Miller might be an option if he would come here, and that's the problem.
Well,
is,
that's
would
the
Brian
problem.
Miller sign
That's
here?
the problem.
Would Brian Elliott sign here? I don't know. I don't know what the answer
I
is.
guess-
Would Niemi sign?
I
him?
guess it depends if those
Well,
guys.
Niemi would
I
have
guess
to
it
accept
depends
him
if
here.
those guys can get contracts elsewhere. right?
Man, it sucks being in a position of like.
I'm just saying,
no one
if
wants to
I'm
come
the
here.
Jets, I try and make a trade for Fleury happen.
Okay.
You try and convince him, if he really won't come to Winnipeg, then you try and convince him that he should.
Then it's going to be a.
But like I said, if you're on a team that has a chance at winning the Stanley Cup and they want to trade you to a team that's not making the playoffs in February, you're going to say no. But if you, in the summertime, if Pittsburgh's saying, we're going to trade you to the Jets and you could take them to the final, that might be more appealing.
But what are the Jets giving up? Because it's Kyle Connor at this point in time, and they're not going to.
Necessarily. You've got a first-round pick that you do not need. You've got.
But if you're Pittsburgh and you're looking at that saying,
D. What does Pittsburgh need? D.
Who are you giving up? Because you're going to give up one of Josh Morrissey or Jacob Trouba then.
Oh, wait. Do they have any more D prospects in the pool coming up?
Wow.
Well, they just signed one today, Sami Niku. They won't.
Well, they have Nelson Noje, and they also have Jan Kesler.
But you have to look, too, that Pittsburgh's going to demand a high price, but they also don't want Fleury on the books next year, right? So they're not going to ask. I don't think they're going to ask.
Well, no, because if they don't protect him,
they lose him anyways.
They are protecting him. They are protecting him.
Then they're losing him for free. So that's the thing.
So the price might not be as like.
But he has to.
You could give them a first round. Well, no, and that's obviously. But you give them a first round pick and a prospect, and they might bite on it if he'll agree to come here. I mean, you know.
The other thing about Niemi is he had 924 as his highest was with San Jose 5 years ago.
That's his lowest.
892 last year.
Boom! That's Maurice range.
Sorry, 864 his first year in the NHL.
Shit, that's out of Maurice range.
But 892, 905 the year before that. But I would say Dallas is a weaker defensive core than what Winnipeg has.
Definitely.
I don't think he'd be the worst.
914 and 913.
He wouldn't be the worst option, but I don't think he'd be my top pick.
No, but I think he's the guy that you. I think they have a discussion like this in the room, and they throw out the name Niemi, and they're like, let's come back to it after we check off our first, second, and third.
Do you think the Jets actually have discussions like this where
Yeah.
it's like, hey, lunch meeting, and then they're just like, why would we do this?
Well, they bounce ideas off each other because
you have to
it's
wonder
one of those things because no offense, but not to interrupt you, but I meant to interrupt you.
Boom.
Boom, roasted.
I think what happens is sometimes you need kind of a brainstorm session because there's people that are thinking of ideas that you're not. I guarantee you it wasn't Cheveldayoff's idea to be like, hey, Buffalo, we want Tyler Myers and Joel Armia, and we'll give you Evander Kane. I don't think that was his idea. I think that's his brain trust coming in and just saying, well, we really like Tyler Myers. We could use the help on the right-handed side in case, Dustin Byfuglien doesn't want to resign here. Then we have our right side still strong. And that might be a guy that they could move for a goaltender as well. No, Tyler Myers.
Yeah.
I don't want to see Tyler Myers.
He's on a good,
but he might be the expendable player because he's been hurt since he's got here, and
if you can't get Toby to waive his no trade,
then
you'll probably lose him because you can't make a trade before the expansion draft, right? Well, I mean the Jets wouldn't because then they'd have to protect Fleury. So they're not going to leave Hellebuck open because I'm pretty sure he'll get taken as one of the three.
You can make trades whenever.
But if the Jets get Fleury, then they have to protect him over Hellebuck, which they won't do. So
Hellebuck's not. I don't think he. No, because you can't.
Goalies doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what year they're in. Nope, doesn't matter.
I feel like we're in that, like, what did we watch the other day here?
They have to protect
Whose line is it anyways? It's like, here's the expansion draft rules, where there are rules, but no one follows them, and it doesn't matter.
No one knows!
Yeah.
But that's the thing, because you sit here and you see guys like Darling go and get traded, trade and sign, or you get Bishop trade and sign, and you go, well, why aren't the Jets doing that? Because they can't. If they traded for a goalie and signed him right now, they would have to protect him. And then leave Hellebuck
so that means
open.
Cam Ward is also available then.
Yeah.
If Scott Darling just got signed.
Ward, Lack, Howard, Fleury.
I think Cam Ward fits that bill better than any last.
Or maybe
lots of
George
options.
McPhee's behind every move right now, and he's like, perfect.
Well, and
my Las Vegas team is coming into place. Gary Lawless, about it.
Is Paul Maurice enough for Cam Ward to come here? He coached him.
I guess.
Do
we have any former Carolina guys? We'll call Andrew to make a call.
No, but I mean, he coached them there in 08, 09, 10, whenever it was, 11. So.
Oh, fun fact about we forgot to mention it. Gary Lawless is a part of the what's that called?
Golden Knights.
Golden Knights, but part of their media, he's gonna.
He's their main media guy because apparently the Jets weren't paying him enough.
The Jets were paying Lawless. That's how that works.
Well, he worked for TSN.
I don't know if that'd be the Jets, would it?
Well, he was the Jets' main guy. For TSN.
Now who's our main guy?
I don't know.
I don't know. Probably gonna be some new person who might actually.
I hope he doesn't have a lot of hot takeries like Mr. Lawless. I enjoyed his hot takes though. They were
Some of his hot takes got me triggered, as they say, because
Golden Knights have a AHL affiliate, Chicago Wolves.
yes,
It's a dual affiliate with the St. Louis Blues, so that's where the players who don't make the Golden Knights will go. So Reed Duke, captain of Chicago Wolves. I'm just kidding.
So in other
you know what I
words,
think we should do? We should start a petition for Jay and Dan to be the official hosts of the Jets on TSN.
and the official.
That'd be good. They can do the pregame, intermission, everything.
And they, instead of having Hustler and Lawless here on the radio, which was just the hot takest show ever, show of hot takes, because they had everybody. That's the thing about TSN, is because they don't have enough traffic going there anymore because of them not having the NHL, especially right now when they don't have any rights to any games. They have to put up the hottest of takes. Like, their takes are just heating up. They're getting to ghost pepper level.
Hey, do you know who I saw is back on TSN? A-Ward.
Yeah, he's just off and on there.
For how long?
He's very part-time.
Because they thought they cut him for a bit because of like his.
I thought wasn't he accused of beating his wife or something?
Oh, maybe that's what it was. I thought he just went to part-time.
Off-ice issues.
Yeah.
Off-ice.
I thought they canned him, but I saw him on the other day. I was like,
interesting.
Maybe he's back.
Well, I think we should probably wrap it up here.
Yeah, I just want to say news of the week. Tyson Barrie is no longer playing for the Team Canada at the World Championships because he suffered a deep laceration that they couldn't just stitch up because he was wrestling in his hotel room with an unnamed teammate.
Who was it?
I think we don't know. Unnamed. Dude, my money's on McKinnon because I don't think Duchesne already
like
wasn't
wrestling,
happy.
like anger wrestling.
What
or
was
just
the
like
move?
play wrestling?
Like play wrestling.
What was the move?
Dude, okay, deep laceration through the coffee
thigh?
table for sure.
Thigh?
I want to get my guess is thigh.
Why would they be? That's hilarious. Yeah, it's got to be McKinnon
McKinnon's smart money's on McKinnon, but
or Colton Parayko.
Maybe he tried to do the.
Holton Parayko, yeah.
Maybe he tried to do the Shinsuke Nakamura, the flying knee, and he just missed and nailed the fan. And
Maybe he broke the window to the thing. Maybe they were fighting
Either
and
way-
he went to do the choke slam and just kind of.
Well, when he
they
sees
got the flaming table out.
when the Avs are here next, there's going to be in room 134 on the second floor of the Fairmont Hotel here. It's going to be Jacob Trouba with Tyson Barrie in a steel cage bathroom match. First of its kind. No holds barred.
No
First
holds
of its kind. With Josh Morrissey doing the play-by-play. Because he'll make it sound so eloquent.
And then Sean Monahan.
Color commentator's going to be Buff because Buff is going to be like, oh, fuck, good one. Good spot.
I was going to say color commentator should go to Sean Monahan, just the guest.
That's what I was going for. Like,
Have you seen the awkward pictures of Connor McDavid in the airport with people?
Those are the best. Did you hear other NHLers are getting people to recreate them with them?
What?
On purpose?
Yeah.
What? Have you seen any of them?
Yeah, I saw.
Okay,
an
if you
article
find
about
them, save them, and then I'll tweet them from the account.
Last thing I want to say, there was an article came out today, Mark Savard, Players Tribune, about what he kind of went through with all his concussions and stuff. Definitely worth reading.
Okay, I'll tweet that out as
Definitely
well.
worth reading.
Oh, and by the way, to answer our argument from last week, Sidney Crosby's back and playing healthy.
No, he was playing last time. We just said
Someone commented too, like, we had a few comments, but mostly just, like, answering a few questions. But someone said it was Cristobal Huet, because I guess we were trying to think of, like, the French
I thought he said that.
I thought so too, but either way,
the
just
French
like,
team
it was
did
Huet.
something nice for him yesterday because it was his last international game.
What did they do?
I don't know.
Oh, the Italy guy? There was an Italy defenseman who scored on himself, and they pulled the goalie there down 1-0. And Italy defenseman tripped and scored on his own net to make it 2-0.
So that was worse than Patrick Laine's
well, that was
one-timer?
a goal that relegated their team out, so now they're not in it next year.
Okay, so that's worse than Laine's one-timer.
Laine was second on the worst goals against. Oh no, Laine was third. Laine was third. That one was second. The first one was Steve Smith when he played for the Oilers. When he was like a series clinching goal that he scored off the back of the goalie. Ooh. I'm sure our parents or like older people listening might remember that. I don't remember that.
Yeah.
Other notable news. I'll see. Oh, it's official. The Rangers and Sabres will play January 1st in the Winter Classic at Citi Field. Oh, look out, world.
Who plays at Citi Field?
The Mets. So allegedly the Sabres have home ice somehow. I don't know how that works.
In New York.
I think. I sound like that's a wrong one for me.
That makes sense.
Victor Hedman, his eye injury. I will tweet that out as well. He split open his eye right underneath his lid. His visor broke and cut his eyelid open. He was like inches or like centimeters away from being
blind.
having some issues.
It was Travis Dermott of the Toronto Marlies got a fan to pose with him the same way that
Oh, fantastic!
You said professional player, not a Marley player.
he's professionally gets paid to play hockey. And then, hey, you know what?
Oh,
they
here we
just
go.
beat Syracuse Crunch. Game 7 right now. They're going to be playing in Game 7 of the North Division Finals. Again, Toronto Marlies, Syracuse Crunch. There you go. Boom.
Well,
And the other thing is,
They're better
has the
than
Memorial
Leafs,
Cup been
that's
set?
amazing.
oh yes, the nice save. The Memorial Cup is set. So the WHL champs, Seattle Thunderbirds, first time they ever won in their franchise.
Good for them.
The host is the Windsor Spitfires, so Jets fans, look out for Logan Stanley. He's a big boy. They drafted him last year.
You're not going to miss him.
No, if you miss him, you're not watching.
Do they also have Sergachev on that team?
They also have Mikhail Sergachev. They have Jeremy Bracco for you, I think.
Yeah.
They do. They acquired him.
Yeah.
OHL winner was the Erie Otters. Oh, they won in overtime to win their series. No surprise, Anthony Cirelli got the winner.
Yeah.
Tampa Bay Lightning. Oh my God, you guys have like the just a
12, did you
clutch.
say?
What's that?
Is it 12 prospects in the Memorial Cup?
Oh, I read something. I'm
And the
pretty
St.
sure.
John
No,
Sea
not
Dogs
12. They have 8.
are the winners of the QMJHL.
Yeah, St. John Sea Dogs. You might know of a certain defenseman on that team, Thomas Shabbat, who's left-handed. What does left-handed mean? And he's drafted by the Sens, which only means what?
He's gonna
Shabbat
play
and
with
Carlson
Eric
are going to be
Carlson.
playing 45 minutes a game every game next year. It's going to be terrifying.
Well,
But yeah, see,
watching the Memorial Cup though, Shabbat,
it starts on Saturday.
if he plays less than
Wait, does it? Hold on, I'll let you know.
if Shabbat plays a game and he doesn't play more than 35 minutes or less than 35 minutes, I'll be shocked.
They play, it starts on Friday, so you have St. John's, Erie Otters, hosts Windsor Spitfires, and Seattle Thunderbirds. All teams have many prospects for the NHL. And yeah, I read somewhere that Tampa Bay...
All the prospects.
Yeah, Tampa
Everyone.
Bay, I heard that they have 8 prospects at this tournament. I can
That's
think
nice.
of 3 right off the top of my head, and they're like huge players. So yeah, that's something.
Okay. Well, if you want to let us know what 8 players they are, you can always email us, lastminutepodcast@gmail.com. Lastminutepc@gmail.com, sorry. Our podcast can be found on YouTube, Last Minute Podcast, as well anywhere you get your podcast, whether that be the iTunes podcast app or on Google Play. Just type in Last Minute Podcast, you'll be able to find us there. You can also tweet the show, Last Minute PC, on Twitter. And comment on YouTube if you want to let us know something that we got wrong.
There's probably lots.
Or if you want to buy a t-shirt, because I want to make t-shirts that say Wrong with Confidence.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
I'll see if my mom wants one.
There we go.